Hey guys, my name is Modi and you are welcome to Modi Speaks. So today I'm going to be pissing a lot of people off because I'm going to be talking about an issue which a lot of black people have denied to ever exist on multiple occasions. They pretend like the topic we're going to be talking about today does not exist. The concept does not exist. But we're going to be questioning that rhetoric today. So today's topic is nothing but black privilege. Guys, we're going to be reacting to this video that clearly proves that being black in America today is a big advantage because it affords you some certain opportunities and privileges that you would otherwise have no access to if you weren't black. Now, like I said before, I am going to be aggravating some people today, especially those who always blame the system for any failure they face as a black person. Those people who always complain that black people can never make it in America because the system has been rigged against them. Systemic racism, lack of opportunities for black people, etc., etc. This group of individuals who are pushing this kind of narrative are not gonna be happy with me today, but I don't really care. I don't really mind. Okay, I'm not trying to be liked here. Okay, I am not here to lick people's behind. I am just here to say the truth, say what needs to be said without mincing words. So even though I'm black, I'm still aware that there are some certain privileges that are available to only and exclusively those who share my phenotype. I mean, there is a reason our former vice president suddenly allegedly turned black during her presidential campaign season. I mean, if black was super oppressed like they want us to believe, why would she identify with something that could end her dreams of becoming the president? Unless the reverse is actually the case. Anyway, let me not get ahead of myself, okay? Let's just get into this video. But before that though, do well to subscribe to my channel if you've not already. Like and share this video to keep people informed, and consider joining my membership or buy me a coffee if you like, as a way of supporting the channel. All right, so let's just take a look at this video that might serve as an eye-opener as long as black privilege is concerned.
When it comes to college admissions, how much of a role should race play? That question back in the news this week. For the first time in Harvard University's history, the majority of students accepted into the incoming freshman class identify as non-white. 50.8% to be precise. But at the same time came news that the Department of Justice is investigating allegations the school is denying places to qualified Asian American students. VJ Jojo Chokolingam, now the head of admissions consultant at Interview SOS, has a unique experience with this topic. An Indian American, he realized the only way that he would be accepted at med school would be to pass as black. He chronicled his experiences in his book, Almost Black, the true story of how I got into medical school by pretending to be black. VJ Chokolingam joins me now. So you were studying statistics at the University of Chicago, and you say to yourself, I don't stand a chance with my 3.1. What did you do?
Well, I shaved my head, I trimmed my eyelashes, and I decided to join the organization of black students so I could apply to medical school as a black man. I also used my middle name, Jojo. I subsequently interviewed at medical schools across the country and managed to get waitlisted at Washington University and the University of Pennsylvania, then ranked the second and the third and fourth best medical schools in the country, and got into St. Louis University School of Medicine, despite the fact that my pretty pitiful 3.1 GPA was dramatically lower than their average of 3.7. Now, I wanted to mention a statistic you mentioned earlier in the program, which is that the majority of Harvard is now a minority. And I don't think that's true. I think that's very deceptive because I think you're forgetting about the Pocahontas factor. And that is that there's a large number of people who are whiter than winter in Alaska who pose as minorities based on flimsy reasons. And as a result, it skews the statistics because they know that it can improve their chances of admission. So self-reporting of statistics that are minority, I don't think that's necessarily the best data to use. So,
VJ, what you're saying is that you didn't just check a box. You went full-on Tootsie, and there are others out there who may not adopt the personification of a particular group. But they're checking the same box in the same way.
I'm an independent admissions consultant. And I have so many clients who, they have an African American great great grandfather, their great great grandmother was Hispanic or something like that, and for very flimsy reasons, they call themselves minority because they know it's going to improve their chances of admissions. So we cannot ignore the Pocahontas factor when you look at that statistic that 51% of people at Harvard are saying that they're.
All right. Well, listen. Let's because.
What a time to be alive as a Black person. Abundant privileges to enjoy. I'm aware that there's already preferential treatment of Black people in college admissions and workforce employment with the prevalence of affirmative action and so-called cultural programs. But I never knew that Black privilege was this far-reaching. Okay, first of all, why is there a need for students to state their race in college or university applications? What is the essence of sharing that particular information? Well, I know. I know. So that they can specifically give preferential treatment to Black applicants, lower the standards for them, and give them abundant opportunities even without merit. Very important decisions are being made based off of people's race and skin color instead of on the basis of their merit or achievements, even in critical academic situations like medicine. Medicine is one of the academic disciplines where the importance of merit can never be overemphasized because the practitioners hold the power of people's life and death in their hands. But colleges and universities across the country still applies favoritism towards a particular race, even in critical academic fields like medicine. Now, to be a medical student, there are two important criteria you must, check for you to get in. Number one is your GPA, and number two is your score on the medical college admission test, the MCAT. Now, here comes the banger. The standard for these two criteria is significantly different for these applicants based on their race. Now, applicants with an MCAT score of 27 or 29 with a GPA of 3.4 or 3.59, if the applicant has those numbers and they are Asian, they have a 21% chance of getting accepted into a medical school. If the applicant is white, they have a 29% chance of getting into a medical school. But if they are Hispanic, they have a 60% chance of getting into a medical school. And then if they are Black, they have a whooping 81% chance of getting into a medical school. Isn't that mind-blowing? Now tell me which privilege is greater than that privilege. This Indian guy with 3.1 GPA knows that he wouldn't even be considered for admission if he were to have applied as an Indian. But as a Black person, he was almost more than qualified for admission. And that's right there is freaking Black privilege. Of course, it is an insult to Black people like me. These people are essentially saying that we are not smart enough as Black people. So therefore, they're going to lower the standards for us. I see that as racism of low expectations, but also I know that it is still a privilege that only Black people enjoy. The same thing is happening in workplaces where some people who look like me are just being hired just because DEI says so and not necessarily because they merited the position. This, however, doesn't mean that there aren't Black people in workforces who merited their positions. Of course there are. There are in fact plenty. But because of this DEI privilege that has been normalized, we can no longer tell who came in through merit or who came in through plain favoritism. There is massive overrepresentation of Black people and Black culture in the American society, even though the Black population is just a little over 13%. For instance, when you take a look at professional sports, you will see an overrepresentation of Black people. When you take a look at music, you will also see an overrepresentation of Black culture. Now, I'm not saying that this is inherently wrong. In fact, I would argue that there is nothing wrong with overrepresentation of any race as long as they merited the representation, as long as they earned it. And of course, Black people have done really well in these two cultural aspects, and so they merited the overrepresentation. But the privilege I'm talking about comes in when we try to force equal representation in other aspects of society and culture. For instance, when I hear a Black person complaining that Black people are underrepresented in, say, aviation industry, oh, we don't have enough Black pilots, I always wonder, maybe they aren't the most qualified people when it comes to their counterparts in that field. Maybe some other candidates had better achievements than they did in that particular field. Why do we try to force equal representation in all other aspects of society and culture when the population is vastly different? I mean, the black population is only 13.5%. Again, the candidates might not be the most qualified for these situations. Why don't we have preferential programs to get underrepresented groups better outcomes in sports, in music, in culture? Because what we are seeing is a great bias going on. Where black people tend to overperform, we call the competition fair. In areas where black people tend to underperform, we call for more intervention. How is this not black privilege? Currently, black has become the new white. We are seeing people of non-black origin pretending to be black or passing as black just to have access to a certain type of privilege that is accorded only to black people. We saw what Kamala Harris did during her presidential campaign, how she dramatically turned black just to garner support and votes. I once saw a famous American singer by the name of Rita Ora even confess that she pretended to be black for a long time just so she can get the support she needs to become successful in America.
Now, what are you? Are you black, white, Spanish?
Everyone thinks that, though. I know I'm Albanian.
I don't even know what that is.
It's Eastern European.
Okay.
So it's like, basically, it's an Albanian person. I mean, there's a lot of us here in New York. What do you mean? We're all over the place.
I thought you had some black in you when I heard that you love Tabasco sauce.
Yeah, no, I might as well be. No, a lot of people think that, but you know,
Because
I
of
like that. It gets me places.
Now let's talk about how you did end up getting.
So guys, there is no capping involved when I tell you that black privilege exists. I know most of you are used to hearing things about white privilege, which to me might be true if we are talking about America anytime before the 80s. But in today's America, I think white privilege is a myth. What I have noticed to be more real is the loads of opportunity and privilege available to black people by virtue of their skin color. Black privilege is real, and I just wanted to make you guys aware of that. But as always, guys, these are my thoughts, these are my opinions, but feel free to share yours in the comment section below, but do so respectfully. Also, if you're not yet subscribed to the channel, honestly, I don't know what you're waiting for. Subscribe to the channel, like and share this video to keep people informed, and consider joining my membership or buy me a coffee if you like, as a way of supporting the channel. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to catch you on the next one. For now, peace.